Hello, dear students. Today, in this lecture, we are going to see the theoretical and very important model that is known as Kroning-Penney, that is a KP model. If you go through the previous year's question papers of GTU, mostly you will find this question, and hence, in view of your GTU examination, this is the most important question, and hence you have to be prepared for the same. So let's initiate this article. So far we have dealt with the free electron, and when I'm talking in terms of free electron, that means it is in the absence of external electric field. Okay, in fact, the electron in a crystal experiences a periodic potential. This is most important, which is along the ionized atoms. For one dimensional lattice with a lattice constant small a, which have seen in this figure, here you can identify the lattice constant small a, and the motion of free electrons, or you can say the potential energy. See, this is the ux versus x. The potential energy at different positions are reported in this figure number A. So one dimensional periodic potential energy model, where figure A is the sketch of potential model and figure B is the Kroning-Penney model, where the major difference you can identify is in figure number A there is a negative potential energy has also been reported, whereas the negative energy is eliminated in the Kroning-Penney model, which means the electrons can only possess the positive potential energy. This is the major assumption of Kroning-Penney model. So here now you will see the mathematical expression, but don't worry, these are the very simple mathematical relations. Just you have to remember the particular operations which we are going to perform in each of the equations. The Schrodinger equation, which is the well known for the wave function, is written as minus h cut square upon 2m del square psi upon del x square plus ux minus e psi is equal to 0. This is your equation number 1. It's my duty to explain each and every parameter which includes in this equation. H cut is equals to h upon 2 pi, that is the well-known Planck's constant relation. M is the mass of your electron. Here in this particular theory we will use the word mass of free electron. Psi is the wave function, x is the position, ux is the potential energy at x position, E is the total energy, that means the potential energy plus kinetic energy, and psi is again your wave function. But in this particular equation number 1, the potential distribution is given by when the position is between 0 to lattice constant a, where you can see from this figure in the Kroning-Penney model the potential energy is 0. But when the position is limited to from minus b to 0, you can identify the values are obtained at u0, that means the potential energy is converted to u0. Subject to the following periodicity requirement, ux plus a plus b, that means this position plus a plus b will gives you the total potential energy, because the electron is traveling to lattice A and then to point B. So this is the final position, which is equation number 3. Schrodinger equation exhibited a solution. So the general solution for equation number 1 are these are the identical equation. Again we will consider the two position from 0 to lattice constant a and from minus b to 0. So psi is equal to a e raised to I k x plus b e raised to minus I k x, where k is your wave vector. For the second condition, psi is equal to c e raised to qx plus d e raised to minus qx. We will identify this k and q later on, where first of all E is equal to h cut square k square upon 2m, and u0 minus E is equal to h cut square q square upon 2m. So here in this equation you can see the u minus E and h cut square upon 2m are further identified as equation number 5. K and Q are to be determined, which are the constants from which the eigenenergy E of the electron inside such a periodic potential. Periodic potential means what? When electron is moving in the absence of electric field, what is the repeated motion which electron has exhibited and what is the energy? These are the important parameters on which many major applications of this semiconductor or any electronic material can be further classified. Four boundary conditions are needed to determine the unknown coefficients A, B, C and D. Here you can see the four constants are there, A, B, C and D. We know the wave function. Now when we determine these four constants, we can easily identify K and Q. So we can use the continuity of wave function and its derivative at x is equals to 0, which gives, these are the very simple relationship. A plus B is equal to CD, equation number 6. Ik A minus B is equal to Q into C minus D, which is your equation number 7. Two more boundary conditions are necessary to determine the four unknown coefficients. Till now we have only two equations, so further two equations are also required. So we will consider a simple case of, due to the periodicity in the potential, the wave function at any 2 points separated by a lattice vector is related through the Bloch theorem in the x direction. This is the mathematical expression of the Bloch theorem, and you can state as, due to the periodicity in the potential, the wave function at any 2 points separated by a lattice vector small a is given by psi of x plus a plus b is equal to psi x e raised to I k a plus b, which is your equation number 8. We should distinguish the wave vector k from the propagation vector of the solution k in equation 5. We want to find a relationship between k and E, which is equivalent to a relation between small k and capital K. Here the small k is your wave vector and capital K is the constant which we need to identify. The continuity requirements for the wave function and its derivative at x is equals to a are then a e raised to ika plus b e raised to minus ika is equal to c e raised to minus qb plus d e raised to qb into e raised to ika plus b. This is your equation number 9, which is your third equation, or you can say third boundary condition. And the fourth boundary condition is, you just have to multiply this equation with ik, and the equation 9 and equation 10 are mostly identical, just you can see the difference in the sign to the b and d coefficients, so, and the multiplication of ik and qe factor. So equation number 10 is ik a e raised to ika minus b e raised to minus ika is equal to q into c e raised to minus qb minus d e raised to qb into e raised to ik a plus b. Four equations with four unknowns have a solution only if the determinant of the coefficients vanishes. So this is the major simplified equation number 11, q square minus k square upon 2kq. This is nothing but the SC relationship. Okay, SS plus CC is equal to 2C. So q square minus k square upon 2kq sin h qb sin ka plus cos h qb cos ka. This is the hyperbolic tangential function, here cosine and here the sine. Cos ka is equal to cos ka plus b. The result can be simplified if we represent the potential by the periodic delta function obtained for the limit b is equal to 0 and u0 is equal to infinite, in such a way that q square ba upon 2 is equal to p, where A is the finite quantity, that is the lattice constant, and we have already seen in the figure number 1. Now here we will take some assumptions that if the value of Q is very greater than that of K, and the multiplying factor or this product of QB is much smaller than 1, so equation 11 can be rewritten as P upon Ka sine of Ka plus cos Ka is equal to cos Ka. So here this factor has been denoted as capital P. So don't get confused that why this new sign or new symbol capital P is introduced in equation number 12. The range of K for which this equation has solutions are plotted in the figure below for the case capital P is equal to 3 pi by 2. The shaded area which you can see in this particular energy versus wave vector graph is for the forbidden gap, and here the negative values have also been shaded because the left hand side of equation 12 as function of Ka, because the right hand side is always less than or equal to 1. There are regions, the shaded area, where no solutions for Ka exist, and thus no electron can exist with energy corresponding to the values of capital K in this region. Bloch theorem says that the wave function corresponding to the wave vectors small k separated by m into 2 pi by a, since b is equals to 0, are identical. They are the same quantum state and should be counted only once. Thus, rather than plotting the energy eigenvalues for all the wave vectors, we can plot them in one period, and this way of representation is called reduced zone representation, which is particularly used for lattice structures. The relationship between the energy and wave vector is the dispersion relation. So here the two figures are very important, which gives the brief insights of KP model. We have introduced the equation, got the solution, but how this KP model will affect your energy structure. So in this figure A, parabolic curves of a free electron in one dimensional periodically continued in reciprocal spaces. The dashed line is for the reciprocal spaces and the solid line is for one dimensional. The periodicity in real space is A, and B, extended zone. Splitting of the energy parabola at the boundaries of the first Brillouin zone, the energy gaps are forbidden regions, as you can see, and here now the solid lines will represent the KP model. So these lines are from KP model, where the minus 3 pi by minus 2 pi by different wave vectors has been utilized, and the difference between the KP model solid lines are your energy gaps, not on the positive sides, also from the negative positions of wave vector. So this was the most important questions in view of your GTU examination, because as I told you earlier, it has been almost in every question paper you will find out this question. So thanks for visiting this lecture.